Andrew.
It's the Showstopper Podcast, our monthly chat with amazing people from the world of musical theatre and comedy and improv, where we have a little chat and then improvise a whole song with them.
We are musical theatre chat professionals.
Absolutely. Sometimes we also move around a bit too.
That's true. We are 3D human shapes and life forms.
Absolutely.
Tick that on our spotlight boxes.
It is the new year, Ali. How's your new year been?
Well, January's been very busy for me, actually. I've been doing a pantomime that's run all the way through January, and it's been really enjoyable. Pure joy.
You do all of the pantomimes. Pantomime season happens, and then you decide, I'm going to do an adult panto, and I'm going to do an improv panto. You do panto until like March.
Yeah, exactly. I can't get enough of it. Oh, no, I can't.
Hey, wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we haven't been doing any showstoppers in the West End at the moment. We've been taking a hiatus, so we can't discuss what show we just did in the West End.
No, and to be honest, when we do discuss them, we don't remember them very clearly anyway, do we?
No, that's true. Yeah, we had a great show in, what was that town where we did it was great.
How has your January been, please?
I haven't done a single panto. And since about 2010, I'm going to say.
How do you keep joy going in your life? You're a parent, whereas I do panto.
It's one of the two, isn't it?
It really is. That's the life choice you have to make at some point.
There are some who manage to do the two, but, who knows how.
Their joyometer must just be topping out the whole time.
My daughter started improvising us some poems the other day. She can't read yet, but she picked up just this book and started reading out from it as if she were reading some poems. And they were incredible. Like, none of them made any sense, but they absolutely had the rhythm of poems.
I love that. So she's potentially a musical improviser already.
In the nighttime, the owl does not sleep. In the daytime, the nighttime sleeps.
It's like Shakespeare, Andrew.
It was, and she also was enjambing lines. She was going like da-da-da-da, as if to say, let it shine, let it shine. It was quite incredible work.
Does she wear a sort of mop cap and have a quill in her hand while she's doing it?
We haven't yet sorted out her costume, but I think you're right. You're exactly on the money. Anyway, we have another amazing guest.
Yeah, we do. This little lady's got a CV to die for. You know, in cartoons, when they roll out a list of items, this woman's CV is one of those roles.
Joseph, the amazing Technicolor Dream Coach, has been in the Rocky Horror Show.
In Gypsy at the Savoy with Imelda Staunton, would you dare?
Oh, my word. I saw Gypsy with Imelda Staunton. Halfway through, I thought, this is incredible. She just can't get any better. And then she did Rose's Turn at the end. I was like, oh, my God. She wasn't even trying before. It was like she'd been blowing my mind and she was only at like 30%, and then she turned it up to 100 at the end.
That's it. That's what they call doing a Staunton.
I've been watching Imelda Staunton in the new season of The Crown, and she's, despite the fact she's the lead character, not got very much to say, but every line, very well done.
Do you think sort of a third before the end she'll do some amazing musical theatre number and do a Staunton?
I can only hope. Have I told you about my wife's clairvoyant connection?
No, please.
Just at a party once, someone came up to her and said to my wife, "Are you Claire?" And she said, "No, I'm not Claire." "No, you're Claire. You are Claire." "Sorry, I don't know anyone called Claire." And the woman was really quite annoyed and just went, "I was only going to say you were really good in The Crown."
That's amazing. I mean, I do see a bit of a resemblance.
Yeah, one of her friends calls her the actor Claire Foy quite a lot.
I'm going to jump on the bandwagon and start doing that.
But anyway, that was a diversion. Imelda Staunton, Gypsy at the Savoy.
Lauren is multi-talented. I've seen her do magic tricks that could blow your mind in Magic Goes Wrong. However, here's a magic trick that Lauren Ingram does regularly, so brilliantly, is fitting all of her beautifully long, back-length, curly hair into a tight-fitting wig cap. And she's also a really, really lovely person. And she's been coming to some of our Showstopper workshops.
We recorded this episode in December. In fact, backstage at the Lyric Theatre, where we were on at the West End at the time. Duncan Walsh Atkins came along to play keys.
Should we have a listen to it?
Good idea. It's Lauren Ingram. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Hey.
Oh, I'm excited.
We're so excited to have you here. Thank
I'm
you for
loving
coming
that
along.
energy.
Yeah, sorry, I have a lot of... No, I'm not going to apologise. I have a lot of energy.
Quite right, too.
You are one of the most bubbly people we know, in fact.
really?
Yeah,
Oh.
I'd say that.
Yeah.
And this is coming from quite a bubbly person.
yeah.
I like to think we bubble at the sort of the same level and bring
Yeah.
out each other's bubble.
Absolutely that.
That's nice.
I'm here to bring the bubble.
Amazing. And also in the room, we've got Lucy Trod, Showstopper Extraordinaire. Hey, Lucy.
Hey, Andy.
When were you last on a Showstopper podcast episode?
I think it was quite near the beginning, like number 7, I'm going to say.
Number 7.
Don't know.
Wow, yeah.
We're now on season 4, episode 2.
Right, wow. It's a long
No, I
time.
was on the one with my old mate Gavin Spokes.
Gavin Spokes has also been going on to do increasingly amazing things.
He's just been in House of
the Dragon.
the Dragon, thank you.
Ooh.
Yes.
Wow.
It's the Game of Thrones, isn't it? I don't watch it.
But it's very clear, Lauren, that if you come on the Showstopper podcast, you end up on massive HBO franchises.
Okay, good. I like this.
It's a
All
good
right.
trajectory.
Okay, great.
Lauren Ingram.
Dancer, singer, actress extraordinaire, fresh off the West End and UK touring.
Yeah, that's me.
Madame Musical Theatre herself. Amazing.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
what have you been working on recently, Lauren?
So the last thing I came off was Rocky Horror Show in the summer. Yeah, I finished that.
Playing
Running
Janet?
around. I was actually playing Columbia this time round.
Oh, okay. But
Yeah.
you have played Janet.
In the past I played Columbia and Janet.
Ah, wow.
Yeah, one of those that just jumps amongst them all within that production. So, yeah.
I feel like that's one of Ali's favourite styles that we get called in Showstopper.
Really?
So I just spend the whole time homaging you. That's what I do.
And I haven't witnessed this.
Yeah, it's such a great show, isn't
Yeah,
it? The
yeah.
music is just so infectious. And the message, right?
Yeah.
Like, what a beautiful message.
It's mental, and doing that after a pandemic. Well, it's why I decided to go back. Running around in sequins after being locked away for so long wasn't that bad.
What were the audiences like? Were they joining in?
Yes, and because I had done it before, so I'd done it 6 years, I think 6 years before that, I knew that the audiences were mental anyway. And then we've been locked up for a year or whatever it was by that point, and they were even more mental. Like, it was another level. Sometimes a problem. But yeah.
Wow.
And for those who've not seen the Rocky Horror Show live, there is a whole rigmarole around it, isn't there?
Oh, yeah. There's basically another script we need to know,
Yeah.
but we don't know if they're going to do it until we start the show.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. So you get some audiences,
Yeah.
some that are there and some aren't. And
Yeah, so like the beginning of a week, if it's a quieter audience, they might not do the shout outs, but we will pause like a millisecond. We've got to be prepared. We don't obviously want to stop in between lines because they'll be like, what's going on? But we've got to be prepared just in case they come out with something. I'm not going to say some of them because they're a bit too rude.
Yes, the only one I can think of is rude.
I'm trying to think of the cleanest and I can't right now, so I'm not going to. But yeah.
And is it a whole different script than the audience shouts out during the screenings of the movie? Is that right? Or some of them cross over and some of them
Some
don't?
of them cross over and some are completely different. And I find it really interesting. A lot of my close friends before, like the first time they watched it, they had no idea about this. So they're just like, what? And then seeing some of the things, which I won't mention, being shouted out at me on stage, going like, what? They were shouting at my friend. I was like, yeah, but don't worry. I know it's okay.
And that means you're doing a good job, right? You're being the classic Janet that they want.
It's a test because there's only 2 characters that are allowed to acknowledge the audience. So everyone else, we have to like ignore it. And sometimes they come out with shout outs that we've never heard of. And we're like, we can't break.
Wow,
We're not
yeah.
allowed to do that. And because of the show, it's ridiculous things.
So you're improvising, really, aren't you?
Kind of, yeah.
Wow.
Luckily, Columbia is the only part that is kind of allowed to improvise a bit more than most. Well, yeah, to be honest, like with musicals in general, obviously there's a script.
Yeah.
And the wonderful director that I had, Chris Luscombe, he let me play around this time round, really. I remember there's a certain point Columbia does this giant freak out and they let the actor come up with the second half of it, come up with what she wants to do with it. And I had like what I had in my head last time and he was like, do whatever you want. And I just remember in the rehearsal after being locked away for like a year going, are you sure? I literally said those words like, are you sure? And he was like, yeah, okay. I was like, all right. And then just let rip. And they let me like change it every month or so. I'd be like, I'm going to add some more stuff in. Can I do it? And they're like, yeah. Obviously, if there wasn't something they liked, they'd go. But very rarely it would happen, actually. So I was quite lucky like that. And then because I could take it off the audience a little bit during that, I just went a little bit crazy.
That's so fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it's amazing as well that show has such a community for an audience. I've only seen Rocky Horror Show live once, but one time someone, audience member improv'd a new shout out and it got a round of applause from the rest of the audience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you mentioned the Columbia freakout then, Lauren. So when you were playing Janet, what was your favourite moment on stage, your favourite memorable moment?
Whoa, it's not a memorable moment, sorry, but I do remember my dad watching me as Janet for the first time. And the opening of the second half is, what's the clean way of saying this? Janet's in the bedroom. And I just remember thinking, my dad's watching this. My favourite song to sing as Janet in Rocky Horror is There's a Light. And Over at the Frankenstein's Place is what it's called, sorry. And no one else sees it unless you're on stage. But when you sing There's a Light, everyone gets a light out. And like just the whole auditorium is just full of phone lights, not lighters.
Yeah.
But you're just like, whoa. But also I just love doing Touch Me. That's always fun.
What a laugh.
Yeah, it definitely is. And if you've got a good cast, which both times we have, which has been lovely, you're just aware of what you're doing on stage. So you're just like, look, this is mental, innit?
So what was your dad's reaction? Did he
Oh,
enjoy it? Or was he just too embarrassed? Or
Dale Ingram is a man of few words, so he just has a little bit of a giggle, which I know is good. He just goes, yeah, it was good. And I'm like, okay, no, Dad enjoyed it. But like was fine with it.
Right.
But there's some of the jobs that I've done, there was a theme. I remember when I rung up my mum, telling her I got Rocky Horror the first time, and I was in Gypsy at the time, which was another job where you wear very little.
Yeah.
And she even said over the phone, there seems to be a bit of a theme, Lauren. And this was like the third job where it's like, burlesque-y themed vibe. And I was just like, yeah, sorry, Mum. But they're the ones that they enjoyed the most, really. Not for that reason, but they're the ones. But they're the jobs that my parents have watched the most, actually, I think.
And did you enjoy doing Gypsy? What was your
yeah.
journey with that show?
Yeah, I mean, I always heard of it because of my mum. She loved just the character of Mama Rose in general, to be honest. So I don't tell my parents about auditions anymore. So I remember when I was auditioning for it, I just didn't tell my mum because she would have got too invested in it. So when I told her, obviously she was thrilled. So yeah, it was amazing. I got to cover Gypsy Rose Lee, which was fun. So got to do the burlesque side of that, which was awesome. And just getting to watch Imelda every night.
And this is the most recent West End revival with Imelda Staunton.
Yes, it
playing,
is. Yeah,
Mama
because
Rose.
there's been a couple since, isn't there?
She was just incredible.
It's
I
ridiculous.
feel like I saw that show, but I've just remembered I watched it online and one of the live broadcasts. But it was such a good filming experience that you felt like you were there.
Oh yeah, it was so well filmed. Actually, they had like one of those. I don't know what the technical word is, but one of those cameras that are on a track in front of the
Dolly,
stage
is it
as well.
dolly?
Yes,
You say dolly.
yes,
Great.
Technical lingo.
yeah. They really knew how to film it, which was cool. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. If you had to kind of hide in the wings to watch her do her Rose's turn at the end, not make it obvious that you were all there watching,
Oh,
because
wow.
pretty much the whole cast were
I bet.
every night. Because like the bows are straight after anyway, so we're all there, and the Savoy backstage is actually very small, so we're all just there, but not
Yeah.
making it obvious that we're watching. And you would just be like, "What? It's just an acting class every night."
Just incredible.
For a tiny little thing as well.
Yeah.
You're like, where does it come from? That was amazing. Once again, like a phenomenal cast as well. I just was like, what? Surrounded by all these people. Like, you are all amazing. All amazing. So, yeah. Yeah, and I did that with my friend Lucinda Shaw, who actually passed away last Christmas time. No, a year ago now, actually. And we did a show in memory of her.
Wow.
So I worked with her twice on Gypsy and on From Here to Eternity. And we did a show at the Donmar recently. And we did a Gypsy medley in memory of her. And she covered the 3 strippers. And I was like, right, okay, I'll play the horn. I didn't cover the strippers on this. And it was me and 2 other girls called Lauren. And on that production of Gypsy, only a Lauren has ever covered Gypsy, the part. It's hilarious.
Wow,
Yeah.
strange.
So all 3 of us, we did little mashup. We went into like 3 different songs and then finished with the Gotta Have a Gimmick. And I, did the
Wow, what a
stripper.
lovely tribute.
So now I own a bright yellow horn. Which I don't know how to play, which made it funnier for the audience. So it's all about bringing joy.
I want it like to be an understudy on a big production like that. Did you get to go on as Gypsy a lot?
On that production, no, I didn't actually. It was a bit of a blur, to be honest, on that production, in a good way. It was very whirlwind and just ridiculous. Like I said, even the cover rehearsals were so interesting in a good way, as in because we all had to learn these different skills with each track that everyone was doing.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. And I had the best costumes ever. Like really cool. Like quick changes was a lot of fun, a lot of magnets and a lot of Yeah, it was really, really cool in that sense, actually. Looking back at the pictures, I had this like tassel dress that was just all tassels with this giant tassel hat that I had to remove the dress and the hat at the same time, and it was that big that it would cover you. But
did you have amazing dressers helping you out?
Oh, they were phenomenal. That was part of the choreography, yeah. So like learning the strip, you would just have to go through the curtain and back like within seconds and just stand there. And I try and be as helpful as possible when I can, like in normal shows for dresses and stuff. And they're just like, don't do anything. If you help, it will slow it down. We're like, just stay still. Stay still, take it off, put it on, go. And literally, yeah, they're the quickest changes I've ever done. Actually, probably quicker on magic.
Yeah, I was just about to say, just talking of tricks and these quick things that have to happen, and also learning new skills, because Lauren brilliantly played Spitz Mouse in Magic Goes Wrong for Mischief Theatre. So can you tell us about some of those tricks? Obviously not divulging the magic circle in a secret, but some of those were real eye-openers, weren't they?
You should say, to preface this, that you were movement director, Ali, on Magic Goes Wrong.
Yeah, it was a really fun collaboration between movement, direction, actor and magician. Wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's where I met you on that job.
Yeah.
It was just brilliant. That was back in 2019, which is crazy to think about that now, isn't it?
Time before.
Before it. I absolutely loved that job. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm all about learning new shizzle. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And the tricks were always changing. So like I'd learn a new trick and then it'd be, cut the next day. So like learn this one now. And I just learned to swallow a sword the day before.
Oh, man.
Just mental. But
That's
the ones...
a lot of ticks on your spotlight now.
Yeah. Lauren can swallow a sword.
For real.
Yeah. But so the tricks that I had to learn were more of the big ones. So I can't whack those ones out at parties. Which is a shame.
Do you actually have to sign like a magic secrecy thing?
No.
In blood. No.
I was really hoping that
everyone just stands in a circle and nods very slowly at each other, and there's a moment of understanding that we won't divulge.
Yeah. I mean, like part of the gag in Magic Goes Wrong is like some of the tricks would be revealed because it goes wrong. So like they'd find out anyway, but then also we would have done another trick to make that happen, if that makes sense. So it was a lot of fun. So I learned the cutting in half trick.
Yeah,
that
so
was fun.
great.
Nice.
That was fun. A lot of contortion stuff, getting in a little clear box.
In your perspex box.
Yeah, that was a moment. I do remember that, like getting into that box and closing the lid and then just an auditorium clapping. And I'm like, literally in this tiny space going, this is my life. Like, what?
The cannon was really brilliant.
Yes, I really like that one. It was the cannon with like a disappearing box vibe as well. And yeah, because that went into from the quick change one, didn't it?
Yeah, so great. And you were German as well.
Yeah.
So all these different amazing skills you have.
Yeah.
So great.
I didn't know I had that skill until I got the audition. I was like, let's do it. Let's see if I can. And I remember reading with my sister the night before the casting and like asking her, like, is this passable? Is this not, like, I hope it's not offensive. And she's like, nah, I think it's good. I didn't know if she was being polite or not. Do you know what I mean?
That's what you want to hear at that stage, the night before the audition.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I thought it was all right, but then I was like, I think I actually said the words, is this the pig from Shrek or is this passable? Do you know what I mean? Because I just do that impression all the time. I'm just like, I don't know if I'm actually pulling this off or not. But no.
Because just segueing from that, Lauren, so one thing that we really have in common is our Disney fanning.
Absolutely.
And obviously those Pixar style films are dear to our hearts. So could you tell us a bit about your Disney journey and when you were a child? Because I know that had a big part of your childhood and growing up.
I don't really, it's going to sound so cheesy. I don't really know anything other than Disney growing up. It was just always there. I don't know who it was that decided it, my mum or my dad, but both of them, it was just always there. We had the Disney sing-along videos. I would sing them all the time. We went to Disney. I was lucky we went there quite a few times when we were younger. And it's very much my happy place. I turn into a child. My friend worked in Paris. I can't remember what year that was. And we went out to visit him. He was in Beauty and the Beast, not in the theme park, like out there. That's my favorite Disney movie. So when I watched that, it was all in French, but we absolutely loved it. We knew what was going on, me and my best mate watching our other best mate.
And appropriate for the musical.
Exactly. That's why it was beautiful. Yeah. But they changed Cogworth's name into Big Ben.
Oh,
we just found it really, really jolting. So they'd be like talking in French and they'd go, Big Ben. And we'd be like, Cogsworth. Okay, cool. Got it.
And did he speak French with a Cod English accent?
No. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
That bit didn't really make sense there.
How strange.
But yeah, so then we went to Disneyland, and I remember warning my best mates. I was like, as soon as I go through, not the gates, but the archway into,
the special archway.
The special archway. I was like, Lauren will turn into 4-year-old Lauren. I'm not even just being sarcastic. I will change. And they're like, all right, okay, whatever. Go through. I flipped. I'm like, wah! I love it. I love it.
That's so lovely. That archway does hold a really special place for me personally as well. I remember going as a kid. I was about 8 years old when we were approaching Disney World for the first time. And you do see that archway. And we came over the hill there we went in a big RV with our family. And yeah, Johnny B. Good was playing on the radio.
One of my
and I was like sat next to my dad. My dad was driving this huge steering wheeled RV. And it was just such a special moment. You kind of crest the hill and then you see the archway, and just behind it in the distance, you can see the castle. If it's a clear day, you can see forever. And it was just so memorable. And I think it really stuck with me. And I think that's kind of what got me invested in storytelling. I really think that was actually a pivotal moment of going through those doors into Disney World and feeling like, I really understand this and I want to do something with this with my life, as in, sharing these amazing tales with people.
Yeah, it's definitely the storytelling aspect of it. But also, like, now I'm older, looking back on it, they really push the whole imagination side of it, don't they? They even have a character of it in Epcot.
Yeah.
Figment.
I've got a Figment story.
Yeah, exactly that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's I think I didn't realise, obviously, when I just fell in love with it when I was younger, but I love to create stuff, and I'm like, okay, it's all connected. It's what it is. It's just also a happy place that encourages everyone to just you're fine the way you are, no matter who you are running around Disney. Like, it's great to see you. Like, thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Like, it's just so happy.
I need to make friends with Disney again, because I had a university boyfriend who went off to Disneyland Paris and got himself a new girlfriend called Lucy as well.
Oh, man.
And she was playing Cinderella in the parade, and we'd all booked to go over there as a household, and we all still went on the holiday, and it was really traumatic.
Oh no, Lucy! No wonder that ship sailed.
I know. Every time you mention it, Ali, I'm like, I'm really happy for you.
I'm really sorry. Yeah, I don't want it to
I need
be
to go back. I need to go back.
Yeah, make it
I'm over
your
it.
thing.
I'm over it. Obviously.
Were you a Disney kid before that?
Yeah, I loved all the songs and used to like borrow children to go and watch the movies,
Borrow children?
I'd go by myself now, but back then it wasn't cool to sort of like go and watch a movie by yourself.
No.
But
I always think people of our generation were so lucky to grow up like just as the Disney Renaissance was happening. Like were kids.
What was your one then? Was it Aladdin and that sort of...
Yeah, A Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Lion King. The fact that we were the right age to watch those.
Yeah, I was a little bit old.
You're a little bit older than the young people around the table.
Do
my
you have
youthful
good
40-year-old
thoughts
self.
of Disney?
I do have good thoughts of Disney. I mean, Lauren mentioned Beauty and the Beast as her favourite show. I cannot think of a better opening to a musical.
Oh my God.
Opening number of Beauty and the Beast.
I knew what it is straight away. I'm like, no.
Playing your song.
Yeah, there must be more than this provincial town. I mean, an incredible performance in the film. I forget the name of the voice actor, but she's absolutely amazing. It's a brilliant song. It's a great, in terms of story and structure and introducing the whole world in one number, the lyrics, the melody's brilliant. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Disney's an interesting one though, isn't it? Because they're bringing out a new one with a plus-size protagonist for the first time, and they're sort of really trying to be more inclusive, but I think probably when you started out with your love of Disney, it was mostly just kind of like thin, white, big-eyed people.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you watch any of those movies on Disney Plus, some of them have disclaimers beforehand.
Yeah, they do now. Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
it
particularly-
Lucy, you might be traumatized by a flashback to
That's
Disneyland
pretty much what it
Paris,
says. Yeah.
2002.
Yeah. No.
Lucy, we know where you are.
Lucy, we see
Come back
you.
to us.
So Aladdin has quite a full-on disclaimer saying there are offensive stereotypes in this cartoon.
Oh, yeah,
they were
yeah.
wrong then, they're still wrong now. It's great that they're owning up to that and being honest about it, but it does make you think about what you are unknowingly exposed to.
Oh, absolutely.
young,
Yeah.
Still love it?
Yeah. I'm very aware of these things now, yes. Yes, I do. I do still
I
love
want to
it.
believe. I do.
Don't force it. It's got to be a natural thing. Yeah, don't force it.
Lauren, you mentioned earlier From Here to Eternity. On your CV, you've got 2 shows in the West End that are obscure enough never to have been called in Showstopper. You've got From Here to Eternity, I don't think has been called, and also Elegies for Punks, Queers and Raging Queens as well.
We'll talk about From Here to Eternity.
Yeah.
So that's actually come back. It's now back in town.
Yes, I heard that, yeah.
Yeah, and how many weeks ago was that? Doesn't matter. We all reunited. We got tickets as the original cast and went to watch it.
Oh, wow.
And it was so wonderful to see them all again. And like when people ask actually what my favourite jobs are, what my favourite job was, I have 2 answers. One of them is From Here to Eternity because of the amount of fun I had with the group of people.
Oh, wow.
Because it was original show, all that kind of stuff. So that's interesting. But just, I lucked out with that cast. So when we reunited for a while, I don't know how, some of us hadn't seen each other for years, some of which are my best friends for life now, actually seeing them after this, hadn't seen each other for ages, and then just watched this thing that we all created and was just like, it has changed, it's definitely changed. But like, when it was the finale, it was not cheesy, but it was a really weird moment. We're all sat in our rows, because obviously our tickets are together, and the final song, The Boys of 41, they sang it, and we all just grabbed each other's hands. It was the weirdest thing, but it was like, we just got emotional. It was really wonderful. But and that was my first, that was my first West End job, that show. So I think it's special in that way.
And we should say this is the Tim Rice, Stuart Brayson
That's
musical about Second World War?
About Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor, yeah.
Yeah, the bombing in Pearl Harbor, and based on the original film. So so when I like describe it to people that don't know, like it's the clip of those 2 people basically making out on the beach with the wave going over them. That's that film.
So when you say you were original cast, did you have some hand in the creation of it as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. The same kind of vibe, like you'd create something one day, it'll either stay in the next day or be gone. Or I remember there was one point we were doing like a completely different show in the evening and rehearsing things in the day because they were just adding songs left, right and centre. And I think that's also what brought us closer because it was always changing and we did work well together. It was a massive cast as well. That did not need to be that big, but I was very grateful.
Did you have a skimpy costume?
Yeah, that was the first one of the yeah. There was very much. I was playing a prostitute back in the time, and funnily enough, I think that is the show that my parents watched the most, and that was what was so interesting. Wow. I was just like, "What? You're okay with watching this?" Because it was quite risque. And they absolutely loved it. I think they just thought it was so cool because Tim Rice would be there. They came and watched the last night, the closing night, and he was sat in front of them. My mum, my dad, and my sister were like, "He's in front of us."
Wow, and he's a tall man. Probably didn't do the view any good.
Hey,
no, probably not. Well, my dad's pretty tall, so I think if he was sat behind him, it might have been fine. But I don't know. I'd have to ask where they were sat. But no, that was a lot of fun. That one.
The only show I've ever known marketed on its lyricist. Like very unusual that the lyricist would be the marketing hook for a show.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because otherwise, I don't think that many people would know about the story, really. Yeah. Like my dad knew about it, my mum knew about it, my sister, no idea. My friends wouldn't know about it unless I told them, have you seen that clip on the, on the beach? Like, oh yeah, that one. But then, when my friends came to watch it, like, oh, that's really good. Yeah. So yeah, very different production now. Still, obviously the same story. But they've done a really good job with it. Much smaller space. We were in the Shaftesbury with a much bigger cast, like I said, and we had vintage costumes. It was crazy. I loved it. Yeah. Like hand painted Laducas and stuff. And I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. Oh my god, they are the top of the top dance shoes. Oh, you're like, wow, specially made for you.
Do you knew
you're like, oh yeah, specially made, and my favourite colours as well. I was like, I didn't even ask for this. This is so cool.
And where was Elegies on, Lauren?
Oh yeah, that was at the Criterion. It was just a one night thing for a charity, like a charity performance. I think, now I was going to say Bank Robbery was there at the time, but it wasn't. I think it was when 39 Steps was there.
Yes.
So that's how long ago it was.
Yeah.
And that was great. Just worked with some amazing people, like Amari Douglas was in it, who's now, It's a Sin, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Ollie Saville, I was singing with him. It was just a crazy good cast for a good night. And I didn't really know the show very well either. So when I was asked to be in it, I was like, yeah, cool. Yeah, really good music. Really good
beautiful music.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just for context, if you don't know the show listening, this is the Bill Russell, Jane Hood musical, a series of monologues and songs. And am I right in saying they're all from the perspective of characters who've died of AIDS?
Yeah, that is it, yeah.
Examining what they leave behind. It's incredibly powerful and beautiful music.
Yeah, really is. And the performances, like I said, were amazing. So those monologues, you'd be like, wow, by people. Like Omari's was fantastic.
Yeah.
So is it like in flashback?
In the production that we did, it was, it's both. It's each monologue's like, it's different. Do you know what I mean? So it'd be before, some after. It depends on the story of that person, but it wouldn't really be, in our production, wasn't really like a story. It would loads of different characters saying their view kind of vibe.
And I think it was written in the 90s, like 93 or something like that. So at the time, it was incredibly raw as well. What a piece.
Yeah.
Lucy, have you ever had to do anything on a stage like Lauren has on several occasions that one might find embarrassing in front of one's parents?
That's a great question.
Thank you.
I think my whole love of acting began with an embarrassment. I was in a Christmas show at my primary school, and I was playing the Jack in a Box. And my only job in the show was to jump out when somebody tapped on the box. Somebody, still don't know who, tapped at the wrong moment, I jumped out. And I remember just being so mortified. So I just want to get this right, you know. So it started with an embarrassment, and it carries on. I'm trying to think. I've had auditions where I've like split my trousers.
Auditions.
Like
Auditions.
Had a pretty bad audition for Magic Goes Wrong. And also like walked in there and I was like, here's all the reasons why I won't fit in that box and it won't be good for this job. And there's a pandemic and I'm really sweaty. And I just couldn't shut up. I was mortified because I was so excited to meet them all. But yeah, I don't know. I think life is an embarrassment I embrace, Andy.
That's one of our improv tricks though, isn't it? Or habits. It's a habitual nature. That's it. That there are no mistakes. It's all meant to be. It's all opportunity.
Oh, I do remember I was in a production at my local rep theatre of The Merchant of Venice, and I had one line, and I remember forgetting that and having that feeling of like the whole audience coming in, and then the lady playing Portia went to me, yes? Do you go with all good convenient speed? And I went, I do, madam. I go with all good convenient speed. I've relived that moment so many times, you know. Yeah, it's mostly like a scarred childhood, you know.
Lauren, you're really getting into improv nowadays, aren't you?
I am.
Jumping on board this train.
Yeah,
Great.
I've kind of fallen in love with it, to be honest. I got a little bit of the bug doing magic with you, to be honest. I'd always loved it as well. I'd always wanted to do it, just never got a chance to do it. And then I think after the lockdown, I was like, I just need to be creative. I just need to play, you know? So I've met the most wonderful people. I've done some showstopper workshops.
Yes, you have.
Which
Smashed
ones did you do?
Tickets available on now.
Exactly that. And I absolutely love it. And I've met lovely improv people from that. And then from those people, they're like, come and do this with us. Come and do that. And I'm just surprised. I shouldn't be, but I'm just surprised at how lovely everyone is. And like, if you haven't done improv with them before, they're like, yeah, no, come do it with us. And like, but you've never met me before. Oh, cool. All right, I'll do it. And yeah.
And you're with a couple of groups now, aren't you?
Yeah. So last night, I was telling you earlier, we improvised a GCSE drama piece. That is so much fun. It's so silly because I did GCSE drama. And even just thinking back to some of the stuff that we did in our piece, it's just ridiculous.
Was it super like intense?
Yes. Oh yeah. We're wearing blacks. Do you know what I mean? And you're just, my hair's up. We get the get from someone's photo on their phone and you just base the whole piece on that. And Lisa Lynn, she is a GCSE drama teacher. So she's like, okay, so these things we need if you want to get the marks. So make sure we hit these things. If we can get these skills in, let's do it. So that's even better. And you do overact. It's actually a place where you're welcome to overact. Or if your character is someone
You so believe in it at the time, though, don't you?
It's exactly that.
We did two pieces, one about the IRA and one about the 7 deadly sins. And we were so into it. It was just brilliant.
I absolutely loved it. It's so much fun.
In which case, Lauren, you have no excuse to not sing an improv song with us right now.
No, let's do it.
How about a raunchy kind of rocky number about your CV reflecting burlesque tendencies.
Yeah, we can resonate with that.
Well, we got another job for you, but it's a hot one. We got another job, you know it's true.
You got a job for me, I know what to do. I'll take off my clothes, including my shoe.
And it's gonna be a sizzling. Yes, you know the deal.
It's gonna be sizzling just for you. What you see is all real.
So don't invite your parents. And don't invite them to the show. No, don't invite your parents. 'Cause what's gonna happen, they don't wanna know.
They don't wanna know.
Oh yeah, don't invite your parents. And don't invite them to the show.
To the show.
Don't invite your parents.
Nuh-uh.
'Cause what's gonna happen, they don't wanna know.
They don't wanna know.
Oh, Lauren, it's your mother. I'm so proud of you. Are you doing well in your auditions, baby girl?
Don't invite your parents.
No.
They don't wanna know.
They don't wanna
Don't
know.
invite your parents.
Don't bring them along.
'Cause what's gonna happen, they don't wanna know.
They don't wanna know.
And when the curtain's up tonight, what mom and papa don't know can do them any harm.
I'll stand there in the spotlight and I won't look them in the eyes.
Don't invite your parents.
Don't bring them along, no.
'Cause they don't wanna know.
They don't wanna know.
Don't invite your parents.
Don't bring them along.
'Cause what happens tonight?
What happens tonight?
What happens tonight?
What happens
They don't
tonight?
wanna know.
I'm your mother.
That was Lauren Ingram.
I mean, her singing voice just meant one of her many talents, Andrew.
Phenomenal.
Great woman, great improviser. Great to have her on the podcast.
Stars out of 5.
7.
7 stars. How many humans get 7 stars from Ali Jane?
Few.
A few. Amazing. That was this month's episode of the Showstopper podcast. You can catch us on tour. We've put some dates on our website. Go to showstopperthemusical.com and you might be able to see us in a town near you if you live, for example, near Salisbury or Winchester or...
Mould.
Yeah, beautiful theatre fluid in Mould. So come and see us make up a musical live. And there are also, Ali, some opportunities for people to have a go at what we do. You and Duncan are teaching a workshop this month, I believe.
That's right. In February, we're doing a 2-day professional workshop. So if you've got any professional credits on your CV in musical theatre or indeed comedy, then please do come along and we'll share our learnings with you.
Awesome. So you can also buy tickets for that on our website, showstopperthemusical.com. You can also follow us on social media, you know, all the usual places, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all those places. Ali, your video imagining a missing song sung by the chicken in Moana, I notice is getting a lot of views at the moment.
Has it now? Well, that's not surprising. I mean, though the song is about being surprised, but
Yeah.
that's. I mean, I'm thrilled that so many people are seeing me be so silly. Do go and check that out on any of our platforms.
Well, I think that's about all I have to say. How about you?
But just hopefully see you next time. Join us again.
Hopefully. That sounds quite, worried. What are you imagining?
I'm just thinking about social media now, Andrew.
I understand. Go and do 5 more pantos.
Yes, I will. I can't wait. Oh, no, I can't.
Bye.
Bye-bye.